Well, you'll all remember our next guest. She put Australian music on the map. Come on, you're all singing along, I know that. Well, now Judith Durham is releasing some new music, including her own version of Advance Australia Fair for the first time in 8 years, and she's with us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
It's so lovely to meet you.
Oh, it's beautiful to be here. Thank you.
I love the Seekers music.
Thank you.
When you look back at that footage, happy memories?
Oh, very much so. Although it was a particularly stressful day, that particular show, because we were just about to break up. So it's amazing to think what was going through my mind. The first live coverage from England, if I remember rightly, that was colour.
And there really was no bigger Australian act at the time in the 60s. And, you know, John Farnham was around, the Bee Gees were around, but the Seekers were absolutely it in terms of topping the charts. And at the height of all that success, you walked away.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Oh, well, I needed to do other things in life. It was a pretty big decision at the time, and I didn't realise then that it would cause a lot of grief amongst the fans. With maturity now, I understand the news should have been broken a lot more gently. But it was great that we could have our reunion concerts, of course, in the 90s, so a lot of people have caught up with us through that.
People still want to hear your voice, and I heard you sing recently. Your voice has lost absolutely nothing.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I do have to take care of it a bit more than I used to. I used to have, you know, biscuits and tea and everything before recordings back in the 60s, but now I've got to be on a very careful diet because I have a lung condition as well. So mostly fruit and vegetables and a good night's sleep, and I don't drink or smoke, so that helps a lot.
Well, it's obviously all working a treat. So you've decided to make a comeback. And you're releasing new music, including a brand new version of Advance Australia Fair. Why did you decide to rewrite the words to that?
Oh, look, I felt that there were words that other people might have liked to sing, as indeed I would have, because it's a fairly old-fashioned lyric, of course, written in the 1800s. Beautiful tune, though. So I thought, well, maybe in 50 years' time, if anybody's prepared to look at a change, at least my one will be out there, and people may have a look at it along with a lot of other choices.
Well, let's have a closer listen.
Precious water, soil and sun, grand life for you and me. Our land abounds in nature's gifts to love, respect and share.
So what are the essential changes? What was it that you objected to? There were certain parts you really weren't happy with.
Well, there was a lot of ridicule about Girt by Sea. I mean, obviously there still is. Every time we sing, we think Girt by Sea, Girt by Sea.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my first and foremost thought. Is there a possibility of replacing those words with something else that is of our language? But in addition to that, though, I thought about the fact that we are young and free, which can be taken two ways, of course. Australia is young and we are free in spirit. But then again, our ancient culture is renowned through all the world that we are the oldest living culture with the Indigenous history that we have in this ancient land. So I felt it was such a pity not to be celebrating that, along with the other things that we sing about our country.
And what sort of reaction have you had?
Quite mind-boggling, actually. Yes, it's been fantastic. A lot of support. I mean, naturally, some people are going to be critical, but the wonderful thing is that the Indigenous people wanted to sing it, the ones who I've been in contact with, and that was a big turnaround. I didn't even know whether they were happy with the existing anthem or not, but it turned out with the feedback I got that many of them actually don't bother to sing our existing anthem, and so that is a plus. I mean, obviously I didn't set out to achieve only that. Main thing was to just come up with a contemporary lyric, but it's been really wonderful, and I've had a lot of help with other people helping me write the lyric too.
Is there any chance at all that the government would see this as the one that we should adopt?
I think it's very much off their agenda at the moment. My main mission was to do something while I was still capable, to make a suggestion, to come up with an offering, because I kept thinking, gee, someone should change those words, and then I thought, well, maybe I can have a bash at it, you see. So look, it's there. I just hope people won't forget about it at the time when maybe there is a change.
Well, you're making a comeback, although the truth is you never really went away. You would have seen overnight that John Farnham's tickets sold out in 15 minutes yesterday.
Yes.
If people would like to see you, where are you touring?
Well, I'm not actually touring yet. I hope to sometime soon. I have another album in the pipeline. At the moment, I've got the Up Close and Personal album, which has just been released, which is an a cappella album of spiritual songs, along with the single being out. But in round about September, October, there's an album of the Australian City Suite, which is songs I've written for all the capital cities. So that'll be a fundraiser for the Lord Mayor's Charitable Fund and many other charities. And after that, it's possible I'll tour. So I don't know if I'm capable of doing a big tour, but I certainly haven't toured Australia for a long time, and I would very much like to do it. So if Farnham can do it, I can do it, maybe.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I know a lot of Australia has missed you, so Judith Durham, it's a real treat to meet you. Thanks very much for coming in this morning.
Thank you very much, Lisa, and lots of love to everyone.
Over to you, Carl.
Judith Durham, one of the very few artists in the 60s having a milk arrowroot and a cup of tea before a recording session.